Welcome to Tree Row Rescue. I'm Rob, and this is my 454 Ford Ranger. We've recap. We've got things figured out up front for the most part. Steering system, check. Headers, check. Motor placement and mounting, check. Transmission placement and mounting, check. Shifter, check. Let's go to the inside and do a harness bar, and I'll kind of show you my switch panel and maybe the part that I've been procrastinating about the most, a cooling system. Cue the intro. I'm going to get an idea of what I'm doing. Okay, walk around. There's a 454 big block out of a motorhome. There is a right angle gear right there for my steering bracket that I made here at the house. Mind you, everything's being done here at the house. And there's a knuckle, all serviceable. Engine's mounted, engine's placed. Firewall has been cut and moved back about 4 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches. And that's just to coat a primer on it. Still haven't seam sealed because it's too cold. Here's the interior of the rig now, and there's some more of that patchwork for moving the firewall back and the tunnel cover. Shifter figured out. I'm going to be able to use the OEM shifter. There's my switch panel for firing this rig off. It's 3D printed by my buddy AJ. That's actually going to be black. That's just a that's an example, a trial piece. And I'm using the OEM seat, and I'm putting a harness bar back here. Here's my thoughts. There's a 1/4 inch plate. Here's a 1/4 inch plate. And there's going to be a bar to connect the two. I got to measure that out. And we have a radiator mounted, not plumbed, but mounted with rib nuts and all that jazz. And then here's my pole. That is a thick boy. That's going to be the harness bar. It's going to keep me safe. I've measured it out. It's 57 inches. Let me cut it. And you would think that I would have a chop saw. You would think. But I don't. So I'm going to do my best with the death wheel. Let me go get some leather gloves. You know, I really need to clean the bed of this truck out. Nah. Okay, straddleness to hold it in place. Hope for the best. And there's a cut pole. Let's see how bad it is. That's actually not terrible, not for freehand. I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, let's fit my pole. Coming in hot. Now I'm just going to place these on top. Don't hit any windows. Get in here. It's supposed to be snug as a bug in a rug. That is a good height. I think that's going to work. Yeah. Let me show you. All right, harness bar. Laying in place. I'm going to go over there. There's the seat. Harness will go over the seat, right over my shoulders, and it'll be legal. Now, mind you, it's just sitting on top. It'll actually be 2 inches lower, basically. But I think that's going to be fantastic. What do you think? 1/4 inch steel, and then 1/4 inch steel pipe. I think that'll work out just fine. Maybe I can get you over here. There we go. That's a view. Yep. Okay, now I've got it kind of sitting in here. I don't know if you noticed or not, but one of these is placed one way, the other one's placed a different way. So they're in different orientations, so I didn't tack it in place on this side. Thank you. Tack this one. Thank you. Do it again. Thank you. Oh no, fire. There we go, fire's out. Now technically, you should have Kevlar inside your vehicle whenever you're welding. Okay? Okay. Now it's just tacked in place, that way I can actually burn it in real nice and good. But if I let this seat back, mind you, I gotta lock the seat. Bam. Harness bar. Bet. Making progress. Harness is attached to it. Now mind you, yes, that is an OEM seat. No, I'm not going to be running the harness bar for this first competition. I'm going to be running the OEM seat because that's an OEM seat. No hybrid kits, right? No harness bar plus OEM. Yeah, no. This is for future. If things go good, this is going to get built out the wazoo. A lot more horsepower down there. And racing seat to go along with the harness bar, possibly a cage. We'll see. But anyway, moving up here, I got this in the mail finally to replace that that thing. And I don't know what that is, but it's annoying me, so I'm going to remove it. And then I can kind of get an idea on how I'm going to drop this down, avoiding all of this. You know, realistically, I could probably shoot straight across like this. And now it's going to be into the... We just have to avoid the header down here. Could I go like this? It's a process, okay? It's seeing what's going to work with what we got. Remember, budget. That always works. Yeah, I like that. Go on this side of that maybe. That's the fill, so we can't go there. This is PCV valve. Or no, there's the PCV. This is just a vent. So if we come across down beside and then basically turn that down like that, oh dude, that's money right there. We'll just run that coolant hose right like that. I like it, and I like it a lot. That's easy. Right through there, it's not in the way of nothing, and it goes straight down, and I can plumb into it because I have some steel piping that I'm going to run along the frame rail for safekeeping. You know, it's going to be mounted to the frame rail because we're going back there to the bed. I like that. Now what about lower? Do I have something for lower? Oh, come over here. Let's take a look at the lower. All right. So I have this big mama jumbo, and I'm kind of thinking, what do you think? Just right like that right there. It goes under the engine and then basically straight back. What do you think? I think that's going to be pretty cool. It's going to clear our belts here, put our, yep, that's nice and thick, straight back. Man, I grabbed the right kind of hoses, let me tell you. That's awesome. Now that the rad hoses is figured out, listen, it's a few days later, all right? It was frigid, and I had some other things to do. I'm a busy guy, okay? Don't blame me, I'm sorry. So anyway, it is now no longer 20 degrees here in Florida, and it snowed in Central Florida, flurried. It flurried in Central Florida, which is pretty wild because that typically never happens. Anywho, it's time to pull this motor out for the last time before we build it. So it's coming out, going on a stand, and we're cleaning it and we're building it, finally, yes. But I gotta do this seam seal, and I want this out of here so I can give it a nice lathering, right? So, cherry picker, oh, I got a box of bolts over here I gotta clean up. You know, the ever so mighty random bolt bins that you get, you know, OEM bolts and fasteners and all of that stuff. Yeah, you gotta have it all, okay? You can't throw all that stuff away. I'm kind of a hoarder whenever it comes to hardware. But you know what? It's got me out of many a jam. Strawberry preferably. But many jams. I just go over to that random bin and, ooh, you know what? That looks like that works. Bam! And it does. How many random bolt bins or bolt boxes do you have in your garage? I bet it's more than one. I've got, rather not say, 5 and then some. I've got plenty of OEM bolts and fasteners. Cause you just never know, right? You never know. Relieving pressure relieving. Gotta get the motor mount both heads out. Relieving pressure. Not enough pressure relief. Too much pressure. It's got me under pressure. There we go. This one should be free, and it is. Come out. Ow. Hit my elbow. Hit my not so funny bone. Now this guy, that one's a different story. Oh, I thought I had it. Ease off of her. Just, there we go. Did I get it? Did I get it? No, I didn't. Oh, somewhat. Almost there. There we go. Got it. Do I have everything unhooked? Yes. Yes, I unhooked the shift cable. Oopsie daisies. Yeah, am I clearing? I'm clearing. Oh, I hit something. I hit something again. What am I hitting? Stuffing things. Up a little high. Even though the front clip is off of this, I still gotta go up pretty daggone high. Just to clear all of the other things. Still gonna hit. Now, whenever I go to put this engine back in, there's gonna be me and somebody else. Why? Because it's gonna be all pretty and painted, and I'm not gonna want to scratch it. Easy now, easy, easy, yeah. Kick it, kick it, kick it, kick it. Okay, there we go. Violently pull, violently pull. What am I caught on? I ain't caught on nothing. Oh, the wheel's rolling over cardboard. Oh, and a screw. There we go. And we're free. Now, it's time for some seam sealage. Yes. And what am I using? I am using Barrier Bond. This stuff is $45 a pop. Hope I got enough. And I'm gonna use a paintbrush and, yeah, something like that. Now, typically, in other circumstances, like if you watched the Impala build, I just use my fingers. But I'm trying to be a little more decent here. So I got me a 2-inch paintbrush, and the goal here is to literally seal up all of these seams. You just paint it on. It ain't got to be a stupid thick layer, right? You just paint it on, get it down in there. All right, carrying on. So the outside is basically seam sealed. I did see some light coming in from right here, so I added some metal and I went ahead and carried it around, so you'll see some screw tips sticking through there. I got to cut those off and then seal around them. But I sealed that up from the inside. So if we come around here, it's kind of dark, but I added this piece of steel because I accidentally cut a little bit too much metal up in here, even though you can't see it, but it goes through right there on the valance, this windshield valance right here, wiper valance. So I added that piece of steel, seam sealed around that, and seam sealed the passenger compartment. Still got to do the driver, but it's getting real late. Catch you up to speed. It's the next day. All those zip screws are gone and re-seam sealed. I got a pipe down here that has a bead on it. Okay, you see that? And I did that bead with this little bead roller from Amazon. So yes, we started working on the cooling system. I say we because my dad showed up. He don't like to be on camera, so I kind of didn't record. And then over here into the driver compartment, I seam sealed this. So now the driver compartment is seam sealed. I'm waiting for that to dry so I can throw a coat of paint over it. And then under here, we have our cooling lines. We got these pipes going from the rear up to the front, coming out of the holes in the bed there, and connecting down here that you can't really see, and then going up front. You see that? Those are going to get attached to the frame rail, and it's going to be money. So basically, I say all of that to say this. Once this dries and I throw paint on it, we are ready to build that engine. And then the next time you see this engine bay is going to be painted. I'm going to have a few things tacked onto the the core support up here, so I can still make this detachable, so I can get that behemoth in and out of here when I need it. So recap of the entire truck, and I'm going to end the video here. Recap of the entire truck. Started out as a 4-cylinder Ford Ranger. We pulled the motor out. We cut the firewall, we cut the core support out to remove the core support so that we can get the engine and transmission, that 454 and turbo 400, in place. We did our motor mounts. I used one OEM one aftermarket one. Didn't really have to do a lot of fabrication there. We had to cut the firewall out, move it back 4.5, 5 inches, and then we had to remake the firewall. We put the cooling system in the bed. We ran the pipes through the bed, by the frame, up to the engine compartment. Basically, all you're going to see is just spark plug wires and an engine sitting in here. You'll see the top rad hose. It's going to go right along the valve cover, and you'll see that whenever I get the engine put back in here. I'm calling it a harness bar because in the future it is going to be a harness bar, but right now it's a mount for my fire extinguisher, so I can go full extension, grab a fire extinguisher, pull it out, and I'll show you that whenever I get it done. So we did the brace bar in the back for the fire extinguisher, and in the future a harness because I got to get a racing seat in order to use a harness. You can't use a hybrid system. You can't have an OEM seat with an OEM seat belt and a racing harness. They consider that a hybrid system and they won't allow it. Or there's a high likelihood that they won't allow it. Plus this seat don't have the notch outs for the harness pass-throughs. Okay. We did I gotta show you this. I want to show you this one more time. But we did a custom steering system. And it literally steers like it already has power steering. Come here and take a look at this. And all of this has been done at home, in my home garage. So we have this right angle gear, right? So that's a gear that comes in, runs on a gear, goes out, and it's a 1-to-1 going in the same direction. You can get these, that's a 2-to-1. So 1 rotation here will equal 2 rotations there, or vice versa. This is a 1-to-1. And it's going into a steering knuckle that I ordered, again, off Amazon. That is the OEM steering shaft that I cut down about 8 inches. And this is to where I can make this whole unit serviceable. So this is locked in with bolts. This is its own independent shaft going into this system here. And then from this system, it goes up to the right angle gear. I made this bracket over here, welded in a gusset, welded it down back. And these are threaded pass-throughs, so I have bolts on the back side holding this down to where it's nice and solid. None of those angles are over 20 degrees, which means these wheels will self-center if I let go of the steering wheel, which is incredibly important, especially what I'm building this for. But yeah, if you think it, you can make it, straight up. And it's turned so easily. So yeah, there's our steering system. Here is our truck, there is our motor, it is time to build that. That's going to be the next episode that's coming out, because this is going to get pushed out. I got to pressure wash it and paint it. Just the engine bay and the inside. Don't really need to bring you along for that. You'll get a kind of a surprise on that whenever it comes time for me to put that behemoth back in here. And that's basically going to conclude it. Oh, and I figured out a way to manipulate the original shifter for the Turbo 400. So we have the Ford shifter going to the Turbo 400, and I didn't have to spend any money. You can save money if you can think it. That's just the base of it. And I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the things, and it helps the channel grow. There's a little hype button if you like the content. Hype it. I'd really appreciate it. May God bless you. May His face shine upon you. And you guys have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week where we are tearing down this engine to put some race car parts in it. And again, I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next week right here on True Growth. See ya.